All right, guys, I am back finally. Well, I got this thing totally squared. Like I said, there are two options in your manual. You can either use the geometry version of it, or you could use the tried and true, measure your corners and then move your poles. And that's what I did this time. The last time I did the theory last time and it worked out really good. This time I wanted to try the other way that some other people do, and it worked out too. It was a little bit back and forth, but we did get it taken care of. Let me get this turned around. I'll show you what I got. I've got string lines now, 100-foot string lines. They're about 110 foot. They're from, as you can see, they go back to a T-post 2 feet up here. Then it hits my post that I've got pre-measured at 2 feet. Then it hits one at 48 feet. Then it hits one at 0. The reason why I did 48 feet is because that's almost dead center. You remember, each one of these posts go every 4 feet. So if you start your first post at 0, your 12th post will be 48. Your next one will be 52. So you could pick what you wanted. The reason why I did that is, I'll walk over here and I'll show you. You notice I've got the string line set up here, and they're at 2 feet now. And the reasoning for putting this at 48 feet, for one, it was where the 12th set of poles were going to go. As you can see down here, 48 feet. But also, gravity is terrible. Even this lightweight string will soup down the middle between a 100-foot run. So what I did was I cut it in half. As you can see, I set the bottom of this drilled hole, as you can see, at 40 or at 24 inches from the ground. That's where they want you to be. So that way your high tunnel is 24 inches from either the top of the pole or from there. I did from here. You could do the top of the pole, but my thinking was from here to here was pre-measured by the company that cut these poles for Bootstrap Farmer. So this has already been a measured point, and every pole is measured from the end of a fresh cut and then drilled. So by your smashing the top of this, you could be literally knocking 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch off if you hit it too hard. And then if you set this up, you're going to be wonky all the way down. So what I did was I used a known set point from the factory, which is the bottom of this hole, as you can see. That way my line is tight down both sides here. And then when I go set these poles, I've got the tape measure out. So at 48, the next one will be at 52, of course, which is where my boot is. So I will burn a hole there at 52, and then I'll work my way down into the 4-foot increments so we can get these poles set up. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to start putting all these poles in. And then when I get done, I will show you what that looks like, and then we'll move on to the next step. While you're setting your poles, you want to make sure, like I said, we've got this string line here. You guys saw that. I have a level. I'm checking for level and plumb. This is the last pole in the high tunnel kit that we're doing. So I wanted to make sure that I showed you guys exactly every step. Now remember, we had those holes that were drilled on the side. You want to run those parallel with the tunnel, because that's where your bolt's going to go that connects your hoops, and you do not want the bolt touching your plastic. So it's best to put that parallel like this. So you want to make sure that all your holes are parallel. And I'm just checking plumb and level. As you can see, I'm using this string guide here to keep me on track. Just a lot of hard work. 4-pound sledgehammer. And about every dozen hits or so. You want to make sure you double check your work, because now is the time. If you've got to push anything over, now's the time you can do it, because once it goes in the ground, it's almost impossible to pull. And that little bit of discrepancy is not going to hurt you when you do your high tunnel. But I mean, the more you can be exact, the better off that you're going to be. You know, that's how you always want to work at things like this. You always want to try to do the best you can. You don't want to do 90% and say, well, I coulda, shoulda. You want to try to do 100% or 110%. If you're going to do something, do it right. You've got to do it anyway, so you might as well do it the correct way. And just send this baby home. Here we go. That's it. Last pull is in. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to put this hoops in. So I'll show you how to do that. And guys, I have done this by myself, but it is a royal pain. It's so much easier when you have two people to handle these. They're not heavy, but they are very awkward. So 2 people is the ideal thing. Like I said, I have done it by myself, but it's a chore. So it's easier with 2 people. So what you want to do is you want to each grab on each side of the hoop. That is the reason why we put the hoops so close to the high tunnel like we talked about, because then we don't have to walk as far. You're already walking anyway. Let's try to cut some of that walking down. So what we are going to do is I like to have the other person helping me put their hoop into the tunnel or into the ground post, and then I put my ground post in. So here we go. You just pick them up. And you notice when you put, there's some play there. On purpose, it is meant to be, on purpose they bent these a little bit so they're just a touch bit wider on both sides than the 20 feet that you need. That way when you put them in, it's a press fit. It presses up against that outside pipe and it holds that pipe sturdy. Don't worry about how far we shoved it in the ground, how high these are right now, because we will address that issue here in just a minute. Let's get these posts put back in. Okay, we'll pick it back up on the last one. All right, guys, you notice that my wife and I got all the poles in the ground. You guys saw that part. We set all these poles together. Went together simultaneously, easy. I'm telling you guys, literally 2 days worth of work, and we didn't work all day, just 2 days off and on. You work at your own pace. Please don't go any above more than you can handle, that your body can handle. Just work at your own pace. You guys can get this done too. On an easy long weekend, you could get this whole thing completed. As you can see, this is our all metal, 100% United States made, 20 by 100 bootstrap farmer high tunnel kit. And look what we've done in literally 2 days. It's phenomenal. So what we are going to do in the next video that you are going to see, we're going to tape it for tomorrow. We are going to put the center purling kit in, and I actually need at least 2 or 3 hands to do that. Because you've got guys on ladders, you've got guys with tape measures, you've got guys eyeballing. It's good to have 3 or 4 people on hand. I've got some people coming in the morning. They're going to help us, and then we're going to tape this. But so tomorrow we are going to put this center purl in. But guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you keep watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.